What is going on, guys? Your boys are back. C2 Wrestling with another Monday Night Raw review. A little bit better, a lot of bit better than last week's episode. Last week was a bit of a drag, so it started us off hot tonight. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman out to the ring, leads right into Braun Breaker versus Penta. That match they announced a couple days ago via Twitter. I was looking forward to that. Glad it started the show. Very solid match. Another solid promo by Seth Rollins, of course. What I was thinking during this promo, I was going to text you this while we were watching, but I waited till this to ask it. When do you think he's cashing
Hmm.
They're booking it like it's sooner rather than later.
SummerSlam makes sense,
It
but the
does.
problem is, I think the women's might get cashed in at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to do both cash on the same night, but they've never done that. So I
Well,
guess it could happen once.
they don't have to do it on the same night.
That's a good point. They don't have to do it on the same night, the same event.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they could, they could do one each night. That would be memorable. They've never done that either. So, like, I guess there is, you do it one time, sure. But, when you keep having Big Show and guys break the ring, it becomes stale, So, how many times can you have cash ins on the same event, whatnot? So, I can't say no to it, but they're booking it like it's coming sooner rather than later. But I asked the question because I just don't know the story of him cashing it. Is he really going to cash in against Gunther? Is he going to cash in on Cena? No. You want to say no to both of those things? Who takes the belt off Gunther that Seth cashes in on? I don't know. Sami Zayn's out of the tournament. I don't know.
Like I still think Endgame is Zayn's probably winning the Rumble in
Yeah.
Saudi, facing Rollins for the title. Uh, you know my fear, man. I have said it plenty. I will say it again. My fear is even though Gunther beats Goldberg,
Mm-hmm.
something happens and Seth cashes in, whether it's in the match, after the match, whatever. So Gunther still looks strong. That's my biggest fear. And because, good Lord, would that be fucking dog shit that you use Goldberg to do this massive title change,
Yeah.
that would start a fairly long title run we would expect from Rollins.
I would be surprised if they, not even like revolving Goldberg, I just don't see the cash in really ever happening at a Saturday night's main event, to be honest. Like, it's not a PLE, but it's not a Monday Night Raw or
It's
a
on NBC,
SmackDown. It's a
man.
little bit of a betweener. Yeah, and I mean, the last Saturday night's main event, I believe, had the best ratings out of all of them. This one with Goldberg on paper, say what you want about Goldberg, that's a draw for a Saturday night's main event. I expect this one to probably have a little bit higher ratings than some previous events, but I don't know, man. The story's a little hard right now. I do think, and I'm glad you name dropped Sami Zayn winning the Rumble because I think that's obviously the direction, especially the Rumble match itself. Sami Zayn, who else? We've been saying that since they announced it in Saudi. But there's a lot of potential for LA Knight to be that guy that takes the belt off of Rollins at WrestleMania as well. Is that the slow roll of LA Knight? Did they not give him money in the bank because that's the story? Give Rollins money in the bank so you can get LA Knight to take the title off Rollins? I mean, it's got to be him or Sammy. There's no other guy really with that upward trajectory right now to be the one to take the belt off Rollins. You never know what's going to happen in 6, 12 months, whatever it may be. But I don't know. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out how they get the belt on Rollins exactly.
It's kind of interesting in the fact that it feels Rollins. Look, maybe this is just because my mind is just on right now and I'm not fully thinking back, and maybe it is recency bias, but it feels like Rollins is one of maybe the most money in the bank holder, having the most amount of people that could cost him his cash in. Like, I feel like, yeah, when like the likes of Theory or whatnot held it, it's like, oh, technically anyone can kind of cost him the cash in. Corbin, the ones that weren't as expected. Rollins, like, legitimately, LA Knight, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, all legitimate, Penta, could all legitimately cost him his cash in. So I don't want to say he's guaranteed to win the title. I think he's going to.
Yeah.
But just statistically, it feels like he has the most amount of legit top names that could cost him his cash in.
Yeah, he does. I would be baffled and wildly upset if they have Rollins lose this cash in. That does nothing for me. I don't care how it
Agreed.
happens. It does nothing for me. But I mean, you're right. There's definitely a lot of names that could come out. I could see Rollins cashing in, and out comes Jey Uso, out comes Penta, out comes Sami Zayn, out comes this guy. But when you have Braun Breaker and you got Bronson Reed, those two guys combined equal like 6 or 7 other superstars, So I guess he's got a little bit of enforcement there to help him. But it looks like we're coming up on it rather soon. We got obviously SummerSlam main events being set up by the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring. So we'll get into that. Jade Cargill gets the win tonight over Roxanne. Expected, obviously. We've been on the wave of Roxanne is young. She's like 23. She's got plenty of time. There's no reason to skyrocket her into this like stardom yet. She's going to get there in due time. Also, off the back of the Liv injury, it makes so much more sense for Roxanne to fit in with Raquel, women's tag titles, whatever they do there. And then again, Jade winning and then going on to, even if she doesn't beat Asuka, probably gets the match at SummerSlam one way or another. Somehow you wrote back in Bianca. Naomi cashes in maybe on Jade. Maybe Jade does finally get that win, but Naomi cashes in on Jade. Maybe that's how it happens. But Jade wins over Roxanne. I'm happy about it. It's cool. Asuka winning, I wanted to say, though, too. Asuka Io seems like the more direct matchup, so I don't think Jade wins the whole tournament. But I don't know how else they set up Jade versus Naomi versus Bianca, whatever they're doing there.
So this women's final feels like the most back in the day when the Rumble final two, it would be one person wins and then the other one's the favorite to win the chamber.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
And
John
they
Cena,
both,
Triple
yeah,
H. Yep.
yeah, Jericho, Sheamus,
Yeah.
like, the final two are still gonna be, is Cena, Batista, like they're still gonna wrestle for the top two titles. That's
Yeah.
what this feels like. They both have very clear stories for the current champions slash Money in the Bank holder. So I don't want to say I'm happy either way because I'm not. That would kind of insinuate that there's a chance I could be upset either way.
Yeah.
Um, I'm content either
Mm-hmm.
way because they both have logical stories. And I think we're going to get both stories no matter what. So whoever wins the Queen of the Ring, I don't think one necessarily needs it more than the other to help their story. I think both stories will be just fine no matter if they win or lose the Queen of the Ring finals.
My only thought to the idea of the Io Asuka feud is I don't know if they're going there is a month from Night of Champions until SummerSlam. So they do have 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it may be, to build it, which is plenty of time. But it's face for his face. Are they missing the opportunity of Asuka or Io being heel and maybe they can have a better rivalry leading into SummerSlam? I mean, maybe we somehow see something happen that one of them turns. Who knows what's going to go down? A lot of wrestlers nowadays play this kind of tweener role, and it works for a lot of people. So maybe that's the route they go. But 4 or 5 weeks of them kind of just like being friendly but staring each other down type deal. I don't know if that's going to do a whole lot for me.
Yeah, and it is kind of a bit of you already have the story,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not going to get world class promos between the two.
Yeah, and I will say Io has very much improved on the mic for
For
sure. Her
sure.
her English has really become very good, and Asuka is too. But I honestly like this has always been my thing with Asuka is that all the Asuka promos are really just like, and she gets over with the crowd, no shame on it. But like it's just yelling into the mic, yelling the quips that she has. No one's ready for Asuka. It's not like a promo, you know. So I don't know. I agree with that entirely. I don't know if they're going to be having crazy promo battles on top of being faces.
It is very, very possible that this is the classic Triple H. This match sells itself. We just book it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give it a couple video packages. People online are like, what the fuck? They're wrestling. Why haven't we had an actual segment? Whatever. And then
Yeah,
they just have the match and rely on the match selling itself, which is not the way to go about it. But I think that is probably the most likely outcome if we're being honest.
yeah. I can already envision the interview with each of them via satellite, where maybe they don't talk in English during those and they throw the subtitles on screen, and we get like a legitimate promo each way. But regardless, that matchup itself is guaranteed to happen at some point, even if by a miracle it doesn't happen at SummerSlam. Same with whatever Naomi, Jade, Bianca triple threat mix up they have going on too. We've talked about that a bit. But Monday Night Raw, we did get some unfortunate news. I don't know how legitimate the injury is. There's some crazy shit going down in the world right now. But Dom Mysterio supposedly injured, match canceled, not canceled, postponed. Dom Mysterio, AJ Styles, I would imagine fits the bill for Saturday night's main event if Dom can go. I want to say SummerSlam, but I envision them having a different plan for the IC title at SummerSlam. So they don't want to just push this Styles Dom feud all the way back to there. So I can see that taking place Saturday night's main event, which I think is fine. I think that actually helps fill that card pretty well. The match, though, was postponed, but it was replaced. It wasn't announced on Raw that this would take place in Night of Champions, but I seen it via Fightful. Sami Zayn takes on Karrion Kross. And
no, they announced it on Raw.
I thought he just challenged it. Maybe I tuned out. I walked out after Sammy punched him and all that.
Right,
Sammy was like, "Oh, our match is happening, whatever." And then, okay, maybe I just didn't hear it.
Yeah, right before the main event, they did like the rip of like, and on Saturday we have it was.
Did they? Okay, yeah, I wasn't paying attention at all then. Well, what else did I miss? I don't know, but I absolutely love the match. I absolutely love Sami Zayn. I absolutely love Karrion Kross. I absolutely hate it being a Night of Champions. And because neither of them are champions. It's just that simple.
It's the Night of Champions and rivalries.
Yeah, I guess so. And like even King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring, which was its own PLE last year. All right, at least like you're fighting for something. So like that can go on a Night of Champions card, but like we're not getting women's world title matches. We're not getting men's intercontinental. We're getting a U.S. title, sure. Tag titles, neither of them are on the line. Like, I'm not saying I want 14 matches, but we're not even getting like all the title matches we should be getting. I don't think it would have been at Night of Champions if the Dom Styles match didn't get canceled, postponed. But who knows? You hear something?
Yeah.
Tommy Boy?
No, it's something outside.
Fair enough.
You hear that?
No, I can't hear. I'm still looking though.
It literally sounds like someone like dumping ice just right outside my window.
It's the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yeah.
2025.
What I was going to say, I saw a tweet and I should have saved it so I could give credit to the person. So if anyone saw this person said it. They said they should have just called this Royalty of the Ring or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
yep. Yeah.
It just having it branded Night of Champions makes no sense.
You brand it differently, and it's like everything's fine.
Everything's
That's all.
fine.
Everything's fine. And like when it really comes down to it, whatever. It's Night of Champions. It's not the biggest deal. Is what it is. It's also Saudi. It's an exhibition show.
You're also not gonna have the fucking world champion on it as well.
But that's what I mean. Like you're not having any like real like that's Night of Champions back in the day used to be fucking 9 matches and they were all title matches. Like every title used to be on the card. There's too many titles now to do that. I get it. That leads me to believe, or not believe, but hope that honestly they would can Night of Champions as a whole. Maybe we don't need that anymore. I don't know. There's so many other PLEs. They've brought back Bad Blood. We can get anything nowadays. But it is what it is. The card itself is shaping up pretty good. We got some solid matches, which this Thursday we will have a prediction podcast dropping. So be sure to check that out. Solid matches on that card. Another solid match tonight between Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. I thought that was probably one of the better matches on Monday Night Raw in the last few weeks. Jey Uso, I get it. The WrestleMania match with him and Gunther wasn't quite it. His rematch with Gunther was a bit better. That was one of Jey Uso's better matches right here tonight with Cody Rhodes. That cutter spot off the top rope, that was great. A lot of great moments. But Cody Rhodes goes on to face Randy Orton at Night of Champions.
Before I bitch, because I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, we'll be live for Night of Champions. We'll be doing live reactions. So come hang out with us Saturday, 1 p.m. Now, time to bitch as my cat's arm dangles out of the window.
He's putting ice out the window.
Yeah, clearly. Why, man? Why do they fucking twerk for Saudi for everything, bro? Like, look, I fully understand like the oh, you're getting a great match, blah blah blah. I fucking get it. Yeah, they're getting 50 million per
It's not
show.
about that. It's not about that.
It is just you have this is even worse than Cody Gunther. This
Oh,
is
by far.
worse.
Yeah, by far. Yeah.
Like, and
Cody
Cody
Gunther didn't have
Gunther,
15 years of history or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Using the King of the Ring finals for Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. When Cody Rhodes returned, it was the most layup 6 month program for him where you don't even need one to be face, one to be heel, whatever, even though we'd prefer Randy to be heel for the story.
Hmm.
It is the easiest and most interesting 6 months of story that we felt was being saved for when Cody dropped the title. And we're like, oh, okay, Cody's going to win back the title and then we'll get the Randy turn or something like that. And that's when it'll happen. During Cody's first title reign, we thought, oh, well, he's still going to face Randy. So, he's at 200 days now by the time he faces Randy, whatever. What a fucking waste, man. The match will be good. I get it, but it's not just always about one throwaway match. This is
It's never.
legit 6 months of good television that
Hmm.
we could have. That, granted, we may still get one day, but we're going to get it. And we're going to say, well, it's a shame they fucking faced already, King of the Ring finals.
Yeah. I mean, it leads me to believe that on their vision board, they plan wrestling out. They have things loosely planned for months to come. Things are always subject to change, don't get me wrong. But it leads me to believe on their vision board, they don't foresee a Cody Orton feud happening for a while. If that was going to be the feud going into WrestleMania, I don't think they would do this match right now. So it leads me to believe that they're going to have this one off. Cody, Randy might not feud for 2 years. Who knows, really? Who knows how we get there when we get there? But it doesn't matter. They could feud directly after Night of Champions. They can feud in 2 years. You're wasting it here tonight. You are wasting it. It is not about just having a good match, a good throwaway match. It's the same as Cody Gunther. It's the same as Cena Punk, which the Cena Punk build has been pretty good. Don't get me wrong. The Cena pipe bomb, all that, but we're wasting these matches in the Saudi crowd. We're wasting them on kind of throwaway PLEs, just throwaway matches in general. Like you said, 6 month build. CM Punk, Cena can be a 6 month build. Orton, Cody, Gunther. There's so many other matchups we can create in our own heads that would fall into this category as well. Cody versus Orton, is it going to end the same as Cody Gunther 2? We're just going to get like a schoolboy type pin? Or are we going to get triple crossroads, take out Orton? Is this somehow turning Orton heel? Like, the idea here is that Cody wins. There's no way Orton wins this match. Where does Orton go after this? What do you do with Orton? It would have been better if it was just Sammy in the spot. You have Sammy lose to Cody. He's going crazy. Karrion Kross talks some shit to him on Monday Night Raw the next episode, and then they have their match at Saturday Night's Main Event or something. I don't know why you waste this match. Part of me, like, there's like that 1% of me that's like, okay, maybe they have something deeper planned that I like can't envision yet, and that's why they're having this match. But that's 1% of me. The other 99% of me tells me they're wasting this fucking match.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to be upset because it's going to be a good match.
Mm-hmm.
I like both guys. It is a bit predictable. I have to wait to see it to determine if this is the predictability when done right is still good, because it could be a predictable outcome and they do a kind of few things that take us a few different directions. Maybe tease the Orton heel turn, tease Orton punting Cody or something like that. I just, I get it. The Owens injury, like, really threw things off for Orton. And, they just quickly did the Cena rematch, which was
I think that
expected.
threw things off for a lot. I think Owens was
Yeah.
in line for like a good run post WrestleMania too. So I think that threw plans off a lot.
Yeah. And, Backlash was in St. Louis. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously they had that planned. That was quite obvious as soon as it was booked. But it feels like I haven't fucking seen Orton in forever. And then I blink and he's in the King of the Ring finals against Cody in a throwaway of what should be like a monster feud. I feel like I've barely seen Orton and he's in
Yeah,
these finals. Granted,
Orton's
I've
the
barely seen wrestling because I was gone for a month, but still.
Orton's the type of guy. I remember thinking this too when Orton won his second Rumble, which was not like the greatest Rumble win ever. Don't get me wrong. We weren't the biggest fans of that. But when you look at the crop of talent, a guy like Randy Orton should always be a threat to win the King of the Ring, to win the Royal Rumble, whatever it is. So him being in the finals makes sense. I totally get it. But there was just a million ways around saving this match. I don't know. I really don't get it. We come from the world of pro wrestling where we want stories. I want long term storytelling. Not every single feud has to be 6 to 12 months. Yes, you can have some little filler things in there. But when you're talking top dogs here, you're talking a almost 15-time world champion in Randy Orton. You're talking Cody Rhodes, the absolute guy right now. That is the feud that goes 6 to 12 months. You can flip flop the title. It's a trilogy between the three guys. So much potential there. Wasted. You know, in a year or 2 years when they do feud, we probably won't even think about this. So in the long run, I don't know if it's that big of a deal, but at the moment it is, and it kind of sucks. But I guess we'll see how it goes on Night of Champions.
Yeah, last few little tidbits from Raw. We get the New Day announced to be facing Finn Balor and JD McDonough for the tag titles. Great, because good fucking lord, do we need a tag title match?
Good lord,
I
we need the tag
wish
title match. We need the tag titles to go on to other teams. Honestly, I'm sorry. Like the New Days is heel. Woods has been hilarious.
it's
Kobe's
not
been
their
funny.
fault.
It's not
Yeah,
their fault at all. But like, man, that Raw tag division has been stale for a while now.
yeah. Dude, my biggest gripe, if only like a perfect world, there was an event that made sense to have the tag titles on,
I mean,
but
to me,
there's
like
not.
to
So you got to
me,
do it on Raw.
I really think like Saturday Night's Main Event, old school show. When you think old school wrestling, like tag team wrestling is what I think of. I think Saturday Night's Main Event, like Lock It In, should have a tag team title match every time there's an event. I mean, I love them stacking the Raw and SmackDown shows with credible matches. So throw it on Raw. I'm not going to complain. But that's another match that I think you could just throw on this PLE primetime event, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you're doing 4 of them a year. You know, you got to plan it out. I think they should just throw it on there. But regardless, tag title matches go with me.
Yeah. The last thing to talk about from
Two
Raw.
things. I got two things. There's one other thing that
There's one big thing that we have to get through.
what's okay? What's your big thing?
What's your two things?
Okay. Well, okay. There's one big. I got three things. Okay, I got three. One, two.
I have two.
I got three.
I have two things.
All right, all
I
right,
have two things. Yeah.
all right. I'm gonna start with our goat. This is a stand account of one guy, forever and always. Our boy Gunther. What a promo. I want him to behead Goldberg in a few weeks, man. And I'll tell you what, I texted it to you. We're due for a Gage spear on Gunther. You know, it's going to happen. But I think that's the point. I think that's like what we're getting here is like they're going to kind of give that little bit of moment to Gage, but then Gunther's going to destroy Goldberg. Outside of that, I think this is going to be destruction.
It's so fucking great how, they're like, hey, you only got like 3 minutes for this promo. And he
Yeah.
said, bet. And it
Mm-hmm.
was his fucking quick to the point promo was better than 90% of people's 7 minute drawn out promo that fucking takes
Yeah.
you down 10 different paths. It's like me when I try to tell a story. I'm taking you fucking left lane, right lane, you name it.
Yeah.
That was quick to the point. It fucking sold him as a beast. My only downside, to be fair, Paul Heyman always says you shouldn't always fully shit on your opponent because if you beat them, it doesn't look like an accomplishment. I did come out of that promo being like, yeah, Goldberg's an old bitch. He's gonna get his ass kicked.
Well, I went into that promo being like Goldberg's an old bitch. So I mean, like I guess it is what it is, really. Dude's almost 60, I honestly,
He
again,
beat the fuck out of me, but
I
yeah.
know he beat the shit out of me, God damn, he beat the shit out of me. But I don't know. Hornswoggle beat the shit out of me probably too. So it
It's
is
not
what
much
it
of
is.
an accomplishment.
Not much of an accomplishment. But the Gunther promo, incredible. Looks great with that world title around him. Our 2-time champ. Closely related to talking about Gunther, our boy, Ludwig Kaiser, back on Monday Night Raw. Not in a great capacity yet. Shown behind the scenes Gable and Penta going at it backstage. Love, love, love Ludwig Kaiser being back. And that leads me right into my other thing that I wanted to bring up, and that was Chad Gable and Penta. The promo, or not the promo, but I guess the little tit for tat backstage before the super kick from Penta, all that. Gable said something along the lines of, I'm going to take that mask. I'm going to come for that mask. Whatever he said. They're setting it up. I've been saying it for a while. Penta, El Grande Americano, mask versus mask at SummerSlam. It's hard to drag the El Grande gimmick out for so long because it falls in place so well with being a SummerSlam match. So I absolutely love that being a possibility. But the other side of me wants Grande Americano to literally just be a gimmick for the rest of eternity. I don't want them to ever can. There should always be Chad Gable and El Grande.
Penta just, injured Gable's arm. El Grande comes out with a fucking bandaged arm, and you got like Corey Graves or Wade Barrett being like, "No, El Grande heard it on speed." Yeah. I know. It's like it's one of those things where I'm excited for the payoff because it's gonna be a great moment. But I don't want to get there. Like it's kind of like Mania build. Like, oh, I'm so excited for Mania, but I don't want like the post Mania depression because it's over and I have to wait for another year. Like, I'm excited for the big moment, but I also don't want it to happen yet because I'm enjoying this.
Well, I mean, no more Grande once he gets unmasked, so it's a bit of a shame. But I do have this is a little bit of a spitball here. But is there a world where, Grande loses that match, rolls out of the ring, tries running, doesn't want to get unmasked, goes under the ring. Penta pulls him out, but he really pulls out Ludwig Kaiser under the mask, and they unmask Ludwig Kaiser or something like that. I've seen some like spitball ideas on how they could like body double El Grande there, but I don't know. Ludwig Kaiser was in the background of that segment, so maybe he's finding some involvement there. But regardless, I'm loving everything that's shaping up for SummerSlam. Saturday night's main event, Night of Champions. Again, we will be live, so you got to come hang out with your boys. Podcast this Thursday with our predictions. I guess that's it for tonight. Anything else you want to add?
Go Birds.
Like, subscribe, turn notifications on, or else you're a coward.
Don't be a fucking coward.
Fucking cowards.